Happening now on the floor of Parliament is deliberation on 3 proposed bills before the legislative body to be passed into law. One of such laws is the income tax amendment bill that is expected to rake in a revenue of 1.2 billion Ghana cedis. And also there is the exercise duty amendment bill that is also expected to generate about 400 million Ghana cedis. And the Growth and Sustainability Amendment Bill, a bill expected to generate about 2.2 billion Ghana cedis. In all, about 4 billion Ghana cedis is expected to be raked in by the Ghana Revenue Authority if these taxes are passed on to law for Ghanaians to pay. Let's go on the floor of Parliament right now.
The submissions are the second reading of the bill. So put a cross on this and I'll put a question.
Mr. Speaker, this bill has only one clause. Only one clause. And it is that clause that has the tax. And then the schedule details all the items and the corresponding taxes.
Yes, Honourable Member, I'm aware, but there was second, no, we are now at consideration. But there was a second reading where you debated.
Mr. Speaker, we are saying that colleagues should vote in support of our amendment.
Yes.
And this argument is to justify why we are asking colleagues to vote in support of our amendment, deleting clause 1, which is the charging provision.
Yes, Honourable Member, you put that across and you indicated that at the consideration stage you will propose an amendment. That is what you do at the second reading. So already you put these views across and therefore indicated to the House that you'll be coming with an amendment. So that is known. You don't re-argue because this is consideration stage. So you summarize it, but you are going to documents and petitions again. That is the issue I'm raising.
No, Mr. Speaker, it is the
Honourable Member,
yes.
Honourable Member, I'm in charge here. I know how these things are debated. Please. So you just end and let me put the question. It's consideration stage.
Mr. Speaker, indeed it is consideration stage, and I do agree with you that during second reading, the policy underpinnings was debated. But then because it's a one-clause bill, and it contains all the items and the various taxes. So, Speaker, I will take the items one after the other and analyze why I think that honourable colleagues should vote against it. But I'm just drawing attention to the fact that...
Are you saying that at the second reading you didn't do that? At the second reading you didn't do that?
Mr. Speaker, at the second reading, the policy considerations were considered. But as we speak now, the specific provisions are what we are going to look at. So, for instance, they want to tax mineral water. They want to tax beverages. Mr. Speaker, I want to argue that children are going to be hurt most because they are the ones generally who take these beverages. And I hear the Honourable Deputy Minister argue that they are taxing for health considerations as a measure to prevent more people from taking these products. Mr. Speaker, I disagree with the Honourable Minister. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the items, the principal consideration for imposing these taxes is not just health considerations. It is more of revenue generation. And indeed, they indicate how much they will be generating as revenue if they succeed in imposing these taxes?
Honorable members, I put the question. Those in favor of the deletion of clause 1 of the Excise Duty Amendment Act, Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2022, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the noes have it. Honorable Deputy Minority Whip.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, you've just put the question on the amended motion, the proposal by the minority leader, and you said the noes have it. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to come under order 1132. And with your permission, I read. A member may call for head count or division if the opinion of the Speaker on the voice vote is challenged. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to stand on this provision and challenge the voice vote. In that regard, I want to call for a head count, because I strongly believe that the noes I heard on this side, yes, and the yes I heard on this side, and the noes on that side. The Speaker, I'm not in a position to declare that the yes have it, but I think the yes have it. Based on this, the Speaker, I want to call for a head count.
Honorable members, the Deputy Minority Leader is right. He has challenged my decision on the voice vote, and therefore we'll do head count. We'll do head count. Honorable members, kindly resume your seats. We are going to do head count. Table office. This is how we'll proceed with the head count. Honorable members, please, you can resume your seats now. Honorable members, those against the deletion of clause 1, please stand up to be counted.
So what is happening currently on the floor of Parliament is a division called by the minority, a head count actually. The minority, through MP for Boko Central, Mahama Yariga, proposed some amendments to some of the tax bills currently before the House. The Speaker ruled that the ayes had it, that is, the majority side had it. The minority challenged his ruling and called for a division, specifically a head count, which is currently underway. The minority side have already been on their feet. They've been counted by the clerks at table. The majority side are also now on their feet to be counted by the clerks at table before results will now be handed over to the Speaker. It is just now that the First Deputy Whip, what's the name? The MP for Ayawaso, Lydia Sarah Malasan, entered. It appears that her entry will now give the NPP the needed votes to be able to reject this amendment. Without her, it would have been defeated, but she just entered now. And the expectation is that the Speaker of Parliament will now declare the vote on the division and we'll know what exactly the result is.
Honourable members, resume your seats. Resume your seats. Resume your seats. Honourable members, the results of the head count are as follows. Those in favor of the deletion, that is those who have the ayes, 136. Those who are against the deletion, that is the noes, 137. Honourable members, it meant that honourable members, my decision on the voice vote has been vindicated and I was right. So the noes have it. Now the question is that clause 1 of the bill stands part of. Honourable members, clause 1 stands part of the bill. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, clause 1 stands part of the bill. We have a second amendment to the same clause. So I have not ordered a second amendment, and that one is by the chairman of the committee. Yes, chairman, you may move your
thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is a committee amendment, and it is, of course, it's a clause amendment proposed, subclause 2, after the table, delete. Subclause 2, after the table, delete. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Please, may you read that subclause? Read it so that we can get it properly. The numbering is a bit problematic.
Mr. Speaker, this subclause 2 reads, and I take it from the preamble. The excise duty indicated in the third column in relation to the goods listed under commodity description for tariff number 8 shall be 2, not less than 50% of the revenue accruing under tariff number 8 shall be paid into a fund designated as Plastic Waste Recycling Fund. The committee deliberated on this and proposed the amendment, Mr. Speaker, that we delete this subclause. I so move.
Honourable members, this is an amendment proposed by the committee and moved by the chairman. Those in favour of the amendment say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, I put the question again. Those in favour Honourable members, those in favour of the amendment. Honourable members.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have made inquiries. Mr. Speaker, I have made inquiries from the back. The anger is as a result of the result that were declared that the Minister for Education was not in the chamber when the votes were cast, that he just entered. And that is why they are questioning that how come we have 137 on that side. And the Honourable Deputy Minister for Energy was also not there. So they are questioning that how come the Honourable Japan Minister was not there, Honourable Minister for Education was not there, but we had 137 on that side. That is the cause of the anger behind me. But Mr. Speaker, this is simple. The cameras are here. So we can use the cameras to scan the whereabouts of the Honourable Japan Minister at the time that the votes were being cast. Mr. Speaker, that is the cause of the strong objection and the sound from behind. That may sit down.
Honourable members. Honourable members. Honorable members, by our rules, the head count is conducted by tellers. The tellers are usually officers at the table. Honorable members, after the counting, they usually put it on paper. Honorable members, the results are submitted to the Speaker, and the Speaker reads the results. This is what, honorable members, please listen. This is what was submitted to me, and that is what I read to you. Now, when you start shouting, and you have so many of you speaking at the same time, that is disorder. By our rules, I have the power to do a number of things. I don't think those things are good for the House. And they are not also good for members of Parliament. That is why we have resisted all the temptations. It's not only me, even the earlier speakers. And so I will not do that. But I'm usually guided by your leaders. And so when you have a concern, the proper thing is to put it on paper and pass to your leaders in front. Then one of them will then stand up, and usually leaders catch the eye of the Speaker. Then he can put across your concern, just like what the Deputy Minority Whip has done. But when you all start shouting at the same time, that amounts to disorder. And the rules are clear as to what to do. Please, at this time, am I going to invite investigators? The question mark now is on the integrity of my tellers. How am I going to handle it? There is no guide in the standing orders. So, you may have to take action outside the standing orders. I may have to create that by Standing Order 6. Standing Order 6. In all cases not provided for in these orders, Mr. Speaker shall make provisions as he deems fit. I hope after I've made the provision, you will not attack my integrity too. Yes, so I put the question on the second proposed amendment. I put the question on the second proposed amendment to clause 1. That was after that I heard the uproar. Yes. Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it was a simple proposal. The table office is here. They know the people they counted. And to settle this matter, it was a simple asking them whether the people in question were here, and if they can testify that they counted them, the matter settles. It was a very simple thing.
Honorable Member, the standing orders are clear. The standing orders say they should count the heads. In counting your heads, the tellers will not be able to identify the people. and say that this is the honorable member for Jomro, I can identify her. No, they are counting the heads. You are standing. And so they will not be able to say whether a deputy minister or an MP for this constituency was present or not present. They cannot. The tellers cannot. They are counting your heads. Yes, Deputy Minority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, you are right. That is the more reason why when there's head count, you call on ministers of state who are not members of parliament to excuse us. If ministers of state are sitting with members of parliament and you are counting heads, Mr. Speaker, the probability that the heads of the ministers of state who are not members of parliament will be counted is clear. And that, so going forward, you have just quoted Order 6. In all cases, not provided for in the standing orders, Mr. Speaker will judge as he deems fit. So, Mr. Speaker, going forward, I will want to appeal to you to use Order 6 to make sure that when we get to such stages, in order not to bring the clerks at table, their image into disrepute, they may not be able to identify the heads of MPs and the heads of non-MPs. But MPs and non-MPs are seated together. So, Mr. Speaker, going forward, use your discretion and use Order 6 as well.
Honourable members, you had two options: a division or a head count. You are aware of these dangers, and you opted for a head count. In the division, we are able to identify the people. In the head count, there are a number of types. This one, you agreed to stand up to be counted. You know that Mr. Speaker has allowed a number of head counts a number of times using some procedures. And I was guided by you, and I followed it dito. I haven't departed from your guidance. It doesn't now lie in your mouth to come back and be raising the issues you are raising. So I like your conclusion. Going forward. That is how your leader concluded. Because now I can't go back. You know the procedure to be able to take the House back. That procedure you can adopt later. But as at now, my hands are tied. And so I put the question again. Those in favor of the deletion of subclause 2 of clause 1, say aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. Honourable members, I now put the question on clause 1, the whole of clause 1. And the question is that clause 1 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, clause 1 of the bill is ordered to stand part of the bill. Honourable members, the long title.
An Act to amend the Excise Duty Act 2014 at 878 to increase the excise duty in respect of cigarettes and tobacco products, wine, malt drinks and spirits, and to impose excise duty on sweetened beverages, including fruit juices, and on electronic cigarette liquid, electronic cigarettes, and electronic smoking devices.
Honourable members, those in favour of the long title standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The long title is ordered to stand part of the bill. Honorable members, we have come to the end of the consideration stage of the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2022.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House adopts the procedural motion.
Honorable Minister, you are completely out of order. Yes.
Speaker, shall we?
Yes.
Speaker, shall we take item 41 on page 29, procedural motion by the Minister?
Honorable members, item 41, motion, Minister for Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House adopts the procedural motion advertised as item 41, page 29 of today's order paper. I so move.
Honorable members, this is procedural.
Speaker, I second the motion.
Any seconder?
I second the motion.
Moved and seconded for the consideration of the House. Procedural, I put the question. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. We'll move to item 42, which is the substantive motion for the third reading of the bill. Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2022 be now read a third time. I so move.
Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Honorable members, the third reading of the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2022 has been moved and seconded is for the consideration of the House. There being no consideration, I put the question. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Honorable members, I put the question again. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Honorable members, honorable members, sure. I go the third time. Those in favor of the third reading of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, I think the ayes have it. Yes. Deputy Minority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, I want to come and Order 1132 again. And this time, Mr. Speaker, I want to call for a division.
Honorable members, my decision on the voice vote has been challenged and a division has been called in this matter. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, with greatest respect, I think this is a complete abuse of our procedures. And Mr. Speaker, may I draw attention to Order 115, which provides that notwithstanding paragraph 1 of order number 114, Mr. Speaker may, after the lapse of 2 minutes from the claiming of a division, where, in his opinion, the division has been unnecessarily claimed, take the vote of the House by calling upon the members who support or who oppose this decision successively to rise in their places. Speaker, you may, if you think fit, either declare the resignation of the House or direct an division. Mr. Speaker, I want to suggest that this is an abuse of the processes of this House. Mr. Speaker, it's already 9:15, and I would want to suggest that people would want to employ this resource such that what is listed here to be conducted, the visit that is listed to be conducted, would not be conducted. And I would suggest strongly to this House that if this is a result, Mr. Speaker, with the greater respect, what is listed here, the business that is listed here, certainly will have to be transacted. And I'm saying so because, Mr. Speaker, we have been in communication with ourselves. We have been in communication with ourselves and discussing the better way to deal with this matter.
Honorable Majority Leader, we are at 113, then we will proceed to 114. So 113, I could have said a head count. But when we come to 114, I will call for the clearance of the gallery. Then after that, I put the question again. And then it's from there I can exercise that discretion. So we haven't abused it yet. We haven't. But I agree with your initial tenor of submission because I was guided by leadership in this matter. And it's that guidance I am implementing. So if there is a change, well, I'm prepared to go by it. But after the bell is rung, for 1 minute, I'll put the voice vote again. So that is what the rules say. In that case, I can only ask that the bell be rung for 1 minute. 1 minute. The bell be rung for 1 minute. Honorable members, I direct that the lobbies be cleared. In other words, non-members of parliament should leave the chamber, including the lobbies, non-members of parliament. I'm going to put a voice vote again.
The minority side have called for another division. Count. The voice vote will be put again, but this time around the lobbies will be cleared. As in, non-members of parliament will be required to vacate the premises. That voice vote.
Honorable members, I put the question again. Honorable members, the Minister of Finance is seated in front. He moved the motion he is not entitled to a vote. He is not. The Constitution is clear, our standing orders are clear. Throughout, I've been observing the Minister of Finance because he's very visible to see whether he's making an attempt to vote, voice vote. And it's his business we are considering, so he's properly seated. I put the question again. Honourable members, those in favour of the motion that the excise duty amendment bill 2022 be read the third time, say aye. Honourable members, when you vote this way by voice, it's very difficult to take a decision. When they say voice vote, it doesn't mean you should shout. And particularly a protracted shout. It makes it very difficult. So I'll put the question again. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, I declare once more, the ayes have it. Yes. Deputy Minority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, I still rise to come under 1132 to challenge the voice vote and call for a division. I so do.
Honourable members, under Order 114 is entitled to do so. And so I'll call the tellers. If this time you want to announce the names of the tellers, you can tell me. And then I'll direct that a division be held. Deputy Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I write in opposition to the application by the Honourable Deputy Minority Whip. Mr. Speaker, the rules are not meant to be abused. Mr. Speaker,
honourable members, I'm sure you want us to go the full hog. Now, in the division that you have requested for, we have to have 2 lobbies. One, the ayes lobby, the other, the noes lobby. And then the division clerks will have to be called upon to count you as you pass through the lobby. The house that you have, I don't know where you describe as nose lobby or eyes lobby. Yes, Deputy Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, you gave me the opportunity to advance my case when my colleagues decided to disrupt me. I thank you for the opportunity again. Mr. Speaker, I contend the duplication made by my respected colleague is an abuse of the rules of this House. Mr. Speaker, the same person called challenge the voice vote. You rang the bell, you repeated the voice vote. And Mr. Speaker, again, the ayes had it. It is so clear that, Mr. Speaker, he is only using this rule to frustrate government business. Mr. Speaker, we are here as a parliament to do what is right, to follow due process, and to provide justification well grounded in the rule. To challenge you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
kindly resume your seats.
Mr. Speaker, he cannot.
Deputy, resume your seat.
Oh, very well, Mr. Speaker. Very well.
Honorable members, sitting is suspended.
Parliament Alban Bagbin has suspended sitting for an indefinite period of time. MPs are fighting over the third reading of the excise stamp amendment bill. The majority side were willing to take the final vote on this, but it appeared there was no agreement in sight, and so Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has now suspended sitting for some period of time. They would have to come back later on to continue. The minority MPs are happy about how the process is panning out. They say they don't like the way the Speaker is calling the votes, and they've had on several occasions to challenge the Speaker and his rulings. You would see them on the floor now. Clearly not happy with the way the Speaker is handling the vote. And see the Honorable Richard Kwame Sefe is clearly not happy even with his minority leadership. He says that they should challenge the Speaker very well. Honorable Richard Kwame Sefe clearly not happy with what's happening. After the suspension, the final vote will now be taken on the excise stamp amendment bill. That will be the first of three votes. I'm hearing some shouts from down there, NDC MPs who are clearly not happy about the process. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed is uttering some words. That's not live, you're enjoying this. This is our live transmission of happenings here in Parliament. MPs are debating and taking decisions on three financial bills that are currently before the House: the excise stamp amendment bill, the income tax amendment bill, and the growth and sustainability levy bill. These three bills, government says, will rake in a total of 4.2 billion Ghana cedis before they are able to get an IMF deal. And they've been planning and hoping to get this through. This is the final day of MP sitting before they go on Easter break. And a number of votes have already taken place on amendments, as well as how the key votes are expected to go on. The minority side challenged the Speaker on a number of occasions in terms of the outcome of the votes. And a final vote was expected to be taken on the excise stamp amendment bill 2022, but the minority clearly had some challenges. They challenged the Speaker, and the Speaker has now suspended the House for some time before the House will come back in.